after AI hitting the market, cybersecurity jobs have increased more. Salaries grow faster in cybersecurity compared to any other domain.
Okay.
And in fact, if you see in entire IT department, there are many people involved, but none of the IT employee can directly reach out to a founder or CISO. In entire IT department, cybersecurity professional, like if you see CISO is head of cybersecurity department. So they can directly report to a founder. They will directly report. So that level of importance is given, and obviously responsibilities are high. Salaries are also very high compared to a developer as well. Developer maximum salary, no matter how many year experience he's having, let's say an average company can pay up to 60 LPA.
Right.
But a cybersecurity professional, if you see head of cybersecurity department, there are companies who pay 60 lakhs to 3 CR.
Oh, in India?
In India. I worked with few companies in Bangalore as well, simultaneously with IIM Bangalore incubated companies and all.
Okay.
And I started training, and in Bangalore University and all, I have given a lot of sessions for faculties, employees in many MNC companies.
Okay.
We call it bug bounty hunting. We can do freelancing as well.
Oh, amazing.
As in, I don't have to work under anyone. There are many platforms where we can find millions of projects. MNCs like Apple, Google. Apple pays up to $1.5 million.
Oh, wow.
Depending on the criticality. MNCs like Apple, Google. Apple pays up to $1.5 million.
Oh, wow.
Depending on the criticality. Initially, while I'm hiring itself, I need to hire someone with some fundamental knowledge, intermediate level knowledge on different paths. To which point we want to learn, this is something which we can't answer, because the more you learn, the better it is for you. At one point, at times I do to rely on self-study, but even right now, if I want to upgrade, I do take up certain trainings. The reason is, it is much faster than we picking up each and every topic, and we don't even know how do we get to that point. We have to keep on searching in internet. There are many people in cybersecurity from non-tech background. So if you ask me, will cybersecurity give opportunities for people outside technical graduates, then yes.
Hi Karthik, welcome to this podcast. So we're very excited to have you over here. Without me giving an introduction, let's hear from you. If you can talk about who you are, what you do, and then we'll take it forward from there.
Sure. So my name is Karthik, and so basically I'm founder of ER Segment Solutions. So we are a cybersecurity firm, and we basically work with multiple organizations. We provide security solutions, and also we work with crime departments, and also we have some clients in US. So we do everything. It's a core cybersecurity firm which we are running right now.
Right.
And with that, you also train people on cybersecurity. If you can talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. So when it comes to training, I started since when I was in my BTech.
Wow.
When I was, in my third year BTech, I started. And since with Intellipath, I've been associated, I guess, since 2021, I guess.
Okay.
I'm 2019 pass out. And from 2018 or so, I've been training, and I worked with few companies in Bangalore as well, simultaneously with IIM Bangalore incubated companies and all.
Okay.
And I started training, and in Bangalore University and all, I have given a lot of sessions for faculties, employees in many MNC companies, even through Intellipath. I guess I have trained HCL, Wipro, some companies.
Wow.
I've given for training for employees in cybersecurity.
Wow, I mean, you like you said, you passed out in 2019,
Yeah.
and what you've done, I think, is too much for a normal human to do. So we'll get into that, how you got this interest, how you started. But for our audience, let's set the context. Can you talk about what exactly is cybersecurity? Why is it required in today's age? Let's start from there.
Okay, so when it comes to cybersecurity, it's a big ocean to start off with. So, see, cybersecurity If you dive in, there are many paths in cybersecurity. So in my case, I'm into offensive side. Cybersecurity also have defensive side of cybersecurity management side.
So when you
So
say
there are
offensive, what do you mean exactly?
so offensive as in we legally break into a network or system or application or a Wi-Fi network or a web anything. So
So when you say
basically,
legally, like what do you mean by that?
we call it it's called ethical hacking.
Okay.
We also call it penetration testing. So I'm a pen tester. So basically what we do is before hacker finding the flaw, we find it and report it
Okay.
so that the organization can fix it before hacker finding it. So
okay.
if you touch web, you have web pen testing, mobile pen testing, Linux system pen testing, network pen testing. Every technology has pen testing in it.
Okay.
So our job is basically we have to find the security flaws which could affect the company
Okay.
if hacker gets to know about it.
And companies basically pay you to get this done.
Yes, we
Okay.
call it bug bounty hunting. We can do freelancing as well.
Oh, amazing.
As in, I don't have to work under anyone. There are many platforms where we can find millions of projects.
Okay.
This is called responsible disclosure program, which many companies has it. And people like us, we can select those companies. We can legally, by following rules and regulations of the company, we legally perform attacks, find loopholes and report.
Okay.
So I started my journey that way
In bug bounty.
through bug bounty hunting.
So I remember when I also was in college, there were a lot of friends of mine who were trying to do, get into bug bounty, but maybe they got into it or did not get into it. But I want to understand from you, let's say I'm a college grad or maybe I'm studying in college, right? And I remember being a fresher, I used to admire hackers. There was a movie called Social Network, which came out, right? And after that, a lot of people want to become hackers, want to become developers. So can you basically tell us somebody who wants to get into cybersecurity, how can he assess himself whether he can get into it or not?
See, it's all about the mentality the individual is having. So normally in cybersecurity, basically you'll get a lot of challenges.
Okay.
So if you are a person who wants or who enjoys getting challenged, then this will be the field for them. Okay. And it's not that you need to be a programmer or so to get into cybersecurity.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we'll also discuss about it. But yeah, ultimately the thing is that mindset. We need to enjoy the challenges which we get, and we have to sit in front of it. Logically, we have to think a lot in this particular domain.
So let's say somebody is from a non-technical background, but he's very much interested into getting into cybersecurity. So what is your suggestion for them? Like before getting into it, should they go ahead and learn something? Or like how does it work?
So definitely see, nowadays everything is on internet, but self-study is something which, if you ask me whether I would prefer, so at one point, so at times I do to rely on self-study, but even right now if I want to upgrade, I do take up certain trainings. The reason is it is much faster than we picking up each and every topic, and we don't even know how do we get to that point. We have to keep on searching in internet. So what I have done is also the same. I have took my training first, and I got that guidance, the path. And then later I have continued in the same manner, and I got into that point where I can give trainings.
Interesting. So you did engineering, right?
I did, yeah.
So which stream of engineering did you do?
I have done computer science, and for the prior question which you have asked, the thing is there are many people in cybersecurity from non-tech background. So if you ask me, will cybersecurity give opportunities for people outside technical graduates, then yes. There are many people from civil background, commerce background, and many other different backgrounds. In fact, my students are there who has done B pharmacy as well, and they have to create an identity in market.
Okay.
Cybersecurity has lot of unfilled jobs.
Mhm.
There are many people in industry or many people outside without jobs.
Okay.
But just because cybersecurity is having many job opportunities, they are not going to pick up random people. They'll pick people who are having the skill set. So being a non-technical grad, being a non-technical student, so if you have that skill set and if you can prove that you have more skill set than a technical guy, you'll definitely be getting the opportunities.
Got
And
it.
there are many.
Got it. So let's take it a little slow. Let's go step by step. So let's say I'm from a non-technical background, or maybe I'm in the computer science field, but I'm not good at coding. I'm not good at whatever is being taught in colleges. So what is the first step for me? Like, how should I begin? Maybe for people who are in college right now, they want to get into cybersecurity. What is the first step? Like, what should they do? So that I understand eventually you will have to take a course. But in that course also, there must be some prerequisites that you should know, right? So what is something that I should learn first before I get into cybersecurity?
Networking is mandatory.
Okay.
So networking is, obviously it's kind of, people do, whoever are getting in, by learning networking, they get little bored.
Right.
Because it's not that interesting and
Maybe
it's kind of dry.
when I remember, because also did computer science from my college, there was very less practical oriented things in computer networks, right? Maybe you had a different course. So if, let's say I want to get into networking, how can I practice if I want to go ahead and learn networking?
See, cybersecurity and ethical hacking basically, without networking, there is no cybersecurity.
Understood, yes.
Okay. So now, if I want to get in, I need to be familiar with networking. But how to learn networking? There are many resources or there are many courses as well outside where people can learn. But if you want to practically implement the, how to set up the devices, how to connect a router, how to, interact with these devices and all, you don't need an infrastructure.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, you have Cisco Packet Tracer for an instance. In colleges, obviously, people don't teach us.
Right.
But Cisco Packet Tracer is one tool where we can arrange all the devices, we can arrange a switch, we can arrange a router, we can connect them. Each and every device will have an IP. We can also access the terminal in each and every device, communicate with other device. We can do everything as such. So the thing is, practically you can implement networking, but it depends on where you are learning and how.
So let's say I'm a guy who does not even understand the networking protocols, right? So for me, what is your advice? Like, is there any learning resource that I can refer to? Or maybe is there, are Udemy courses enough for learning networking? So or maybe is there a book that I can go through that if I learn this, or is there an outcome which I can basically measure myself into, that if I do this, then I know networking? Like, how will I know that I know enough networking?
So, see, mainly for cybersecurity, we'd be needing OSI model. OSI model is like heart of networking concepts.
Okay. So OSI model is one that...
Yeah, if any attack which happens in cyber world, it happens in one of the 7 layers of OSI.
Okay.
So we need to know OSI model, how data flows from one device to other device, and we need to know IPs, MAC address, DNS, DHCP, all these concepts.
Sure.
We need it. So it's up to which point we want to learn. This is something which we can't answer, because the more you learn, the better it is for you. So if you say how do I learn it, there are many resources online. In YouTube, there are many channels where they make series of CCNA networking videos.
Got it.
And in cybersecurity, it's not mandatory that we get into routing switching level concepts, but base intermediate level knowledge on it, ports, protocol, services, all these OSI model and all these concepts would be sufficient for you to move forward.
Got it. Okay. So networking is a prerequisite. Any other prerequisite that we require before we get into understanding?
Computer knowledge, obviously.
Okay. Operating a computer.
Yeah, basic.
Working on Linux.
You can learn it eventually. It's not something. It's just
not a prerequisite.
It's not a prerequisite.
Okay.
Anyone can do it within a basic.
So
knowledge.
if you have basic knowledge about how computers work and a knowledge about networking, especially OSI model, and I think that is the first thing that we learned when we started computer networks, then you're saying we can think about doing a cybersecurity course. Okay, got it. Now, when we get into cybersecurity, there are so many certifications out there, right? Because anybody who would want to learn cybersecurity, obviously, we want to get a job, right? So let's start from there. Like, what are the entry level jobs which are available in cybersecurity? Or before getting into cybersecurity, is there a job that maybe I should get into where I learn things how they happen, and then maybe I should get into cyber? How does it work?
So, as a fresher, if I want to get into a job or if you want to get into a job in cybersecurity, so basically you need to decide like, red teaming, blue teaming. So that is offensive, defensive.
Okay.
So if you want a vague idea, defensive team, you have SOC analyst, you have incident response teams, you have, knock teams, you have multiple, security analyst and all, multiple responsibilities. If you see in cybersecurity, there are 60 plus job roles.
Okay.
So in defensive side, their main agenda is to make sure that the attack will not enter inside the company.
Got it.
Okay. So when it comes to organizations outside, they have more defensive side opportunities.
Yeah.
And we have offensive side of cybersecurity as well, like penetration testers, security auditors, and forensic investigators and all. So when it comes to that side, offensive side, compared to blue, we'll have lesser number of opportunities, but we do have.
Okay. So you're saying between the blue team and the red team, which is defensive and offensive, it is easier to get into the defensive side because jobs are more.
Jobs are more. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is the entry level job in the defensive side of things that I can get into as a fresher? Like, for example, when we were in college, we used to have companies like TCS, Infosys. The only thing that they used to ask us was, what are loops, right? What are variables? And if you used to answer 6-7 questions, we used to get the software developer job. Now, in case of cybersecurity, what is it like? What is the first kind of role that I'll get into, and what are the kind of questions that I can expect?
So you'll get into security analyst job roles.
Okay.
So that is into, let's say, defensive side. If you see, so you'll be working with in L1, L2 levels initially as a fresher. You'll get in,
Okay.
and basically you'll be dealing with it's kind of, you don't need coding in here.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll be completely dependent on security tools, SIM tools.
Okay.
So like Splunk, QRadar, EDR tools like CloudStrike, Trellix, and all. So as it is a tool-based scenarios, networking is mandatory in here.
Sure.
So in any interview you attend, if they ask you 10 questions, 3 questions will be there in networking.
Okay.
So ports, protocols, again, the same concepts. And apart from that, they'll ask you about cyber kill chain or, about MITRE attack framework and, these kind of questions mostly they'll be focusing on.
Got it.
And when it comes to red teaming, you have penetration testers job roles also as a fresher.
Okay.
There are many people who got in, and me myself, I've been in pen testing. So when it comes to pen testing, you need to have that semi-coding knowledge.
Okay.
Semi-coding knowledge is needed, as in I don't have to be pro in coding, but if I can write one line of code, if I can understand the flow of code and write one line, that would be sufficient for me to survive.
Okay.
Being in fresher, later we can become pro in coding, develop our own tools and all, but entry barrier is not there. You don't have to be pro.
That's fair. Okay. So you mentioned that there are, as a security analyst, which is the entry level job that you mentioned, I need to know about networking and I need to know about security tools, right? So knowing networking, like, is there a certification that I can do? Maybe from certification, I can map what all I have to learn in order to do that certification, and that certification maybe becomes a gateway for me to apply to that particular job. And similarly, the security tools that you mentioned, because these tools are not taught in colleges, right? So as a fresher, how do I learn these tools? Again, there might be courses or resources out there, but I might not know what all tools I have to learn, right? So maybe the way forward would be to do a certification which will tell me, okay, learn these 5 tools. Enough. If you learn them, you can get a certification, right? So what is the entry level certification that I can do in order to learn these security tools or in order to learn networking?
So when it comes to entry level certification, so either in blue team or red team, companies ask for CEH, okay, from EC Council, CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker.
Sure.
So basically, why in CEH you'll be not learning these SIM tools, but it's an entry level certification which companies ask for, even blue team.
Okay.
So the reason behind that is there are other bodies also. CompShare, Security Plus, Network Plus is there. So it depends on like people which certification they prefer. But there are companies who ask for, let's say, CEH. So why did CEH become globally, acknowledged by many companies is because it has, let's say, 20 modules in it. Cybersecurity, as I told, it's a big ocean. There are many paths. If you touch network security, mobile security, or IoT security, cloud security, there are many paths. So CEH will give you some basic to intermediate level knowledge on multiple paths.
Got it.
Okay, the scenario is, let's say I have my own company. I got a requirement from a client saying that, boss, I need a web pen testing project to be done. So let's say I need manpower to do the project. So I'll hire someone, and these people will come in, and project will be done within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month. So after the project is done, I'll get another client who requirement is network security.
Right.
I have hired for web security. They don't have knowledge on network security, means I need to train them from scratch, and I have to assign them the project.
Right.
Which is, I need to pay them salary also for training. So it will be a burden for the organization.
Right.
So initially, while I'm hiring itself, I need to hire someone with some fundamental knowledge, intermediate level knowledge on different paths.
Okay.
So that employee will be able to adapt to my requirement.
Yeah. Right.
So that is why this CEH is designed in such way where it gives you some basic to intermediate level knowledge on multiple paths. Employee adaptability increases.
Cool.
That's kind of foundation.
So as a technical guy, I can definitely get into CEH. But what if I am from the non-technical field? Can I straight away get into CEH, or I have to learn something?
See, technical or non-technical, the certifications they look into is the same standards. So people, there are people who do CCNA also, networking certification, but it's not mandate. But if you do, it's an additional advantage. So being in a fresher, okay, how do you create an identity in market is what makes more weightage. So basically, certifications are not just a way to create your identity in market. So there are many other ways in cybersecurity compared to other domains where you can create that identity.
So what are those ways exactly then?
Okay. So if you ask me how I started off, how I created my identity. So basically, starting off, I started when I was in my second year.
Okay.
Graduation, 2017. Where I was a web developer first.
Okay.
PHP backend. I was doing internship. So later I realized about cybersecurity and switched from web development to web security.
Okay.
So I've started off with bug bounty hunting. So in my semester holidays, in first 8 days, I found around 4 days. I found around 8 critical vulnerabilities.
Where? If I may ask.
It's NDAs,
Okay.
non-disclosure, but yeah.
So was it a big company or was it a startup? Like
Medium scales.
Okay.
So some companies I worked for, and I've targeted a few good companies as well. Where 2 companies offered me job.
Oh wow! Just because you found a bug.
Yeah, found
Okay.
and explained them as well. There are a few companies whom I have done internship priorly, and I have explained them that these are the scenarios, and somehow it worked out, and they gave me opportunity. And since my third year, I started working full time.
Okay.
And basically, this bug bounty hunting, which is there, it is one of the best way to create a weightage in your resume. As in, see, in my case, I had 5 backlogs in my BTech.
Okay.
Okay, no one cared. I had, I'm not very good in getting percentages. So no one cared or no one asked me about it.
Okay.
I'm not suggesting that people follow it.
Mm.
But the thing is, I have created my identity in such a way that people care about the skill set. So since then, I've done freelancing, and I've third year onwards, I've almost by fourth year, I worked for around 8 companies,
Wow.
2 in Canada, 2 in US, and remaining Bangalore and Hyderabad.
Wow.
So I suggest my students also the same, that Bug bounty hunting, let's say, is something which is, you don't have to invest to get a project. You don't have to work under anyone. Being a student, if you can invest around 2 hours, 3 hours per day and select a project and start working on it, finding security flaws,
Then
eventually, let's say at the end of 4th year or at the end of your graduation, if you have it in your resume that you have secured 50 companies or 100 companies, no recruiter will have dared to reject your resume. So you can create that. You don't need any certifications. Doing certification, even I have done it. It's like you to prove yourself that you have that content, and also it will be an additional advantage.
Interesting. So let's say I want to do bug bounty, right? So let's take the example of IntelliPart. Now, let's say I want to check what kind of bugs they have in the website. So what is the normal flow? Like, how do I begin understanding, or how do I find a bug? Like,
Okay.
maybe if you can map a roadmap for us.
So usually we maintain a checklist,
Okay.
as in a list of the security flaws. So we also follow a security standard OWASP top 10 globally. People do follow it.
No, so my question is, as a fresher, when you did it, right? How did you crack it? Like, how did you now? So you have a, because you have done a lot, you might be having a process which you might also teach also to people. But my question to you is, as a fresher, because you did not have this knowledge, right? You said you were a web tester, a web developer, and you wanted to get into cybersecurity. So how did you find your first bug?
See, I have learned, I took training.
Okay.
Okay, so basically I started off with attending a workshop in IIT Hyderabad and BITS Hyderabad. We had 2-day workshops, ethical hacking. I attended, got to know about it, wanted to explore, took training.
Okay.
So I took training normally from online itself. I started. Later I took offline trainings.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, I got that guidance, like, what vulnerabilities are there, what kind of security flaws are there
Okay.
in websites. So I got it. And whatever attacks I know, whatever vulnerabilities I know, I made a list.
Understood.
And any website which I select, I go through each and every vulnerability, each and every attack I perform. And if it worked, I'll take it.
Got
If it
it.
didn't work, go for next. Like that, I keep trying all. So whichever vulnerabilities worked out, I make a report and report it to the concerned organization.
Amazing. Okay. So it's not try and error. It's basically you have a list, you have a certain process or
Yeah.
certain attacks that you know that these are some basic vulnerabilities that most of the websites have. You do that, and from there you start and go.
Yeah,
dig
OWASP
deeper.
top 10 standards, which I was telling about. Basically, the OWASP is a non-profit organization.
Okay.
What they do is they do research on what are the most commonly found vulnerabilities in web.
Okay.
Not only web, it has in cloud, it has an IoT OWASP top 10. But let's say OWASP top 10 in web. So they do research and release those top 10 standards.
Okay.
So we also follow OWASP top 10. And apart from that, I do follow other vulnerabilities as well. Latest vulnerabilities, they keep on coming in market.
Got it.
So best part is if you focus on latest vulnerabilities, not many people will upgrade themselves.
Okay.
So
That's a secret.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Understood. So you're saying if somebody learns the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities which are there, chances are that if they're targeting maybe a new startup or a medium startup who have just started out, and if they have a bug bounty program, they will be able to find their first bug.
Yeah, there are chances, but I would suggest not to work only on OWASP.
Okay.
Because there are many people who are learning OWASP, so competition will be more. So if you want to get out of that competition, you have to go a little above OWASP, and there are many other vulnerabilities.
Got it. Now let's talk about, can I perform these attacks on any website, or like is there a way? Because right now the conversation that we are having is we can test by doing these attacks on websites, but I don't think that is legal, right? So like, how do I approach, or how do I know which websites I can actually do an attack and which websites are actually giving me a bug bounty program?
So it's very easy. Basically, the scenario is there are companies who are having RVDP program, Responsible Vulnerability Disclosure Program.
Okay.
MNCs like Apple, Google. Apple pays up to $1.5 million.
Oh, wow.
depending on the criticality. Google also pays in millions of dollars per vulnerability depending on criticality. So there are many companies as such, depending on their budget, they pay. But either way, how do we find them? So if you see Apple, they have a separate sub page in their website itself for Apple Bug Bounty program. So same way many companies have it.
Okay.
So how do we find all these companies in one places? There are platforms like Bugcrowd, HackerOne, Synack, Integrity, 18 plus. There are many platforms. So the scenario is, let's say I want to select a project. So I can sign up for free in these platforms.
Right.
I can select any program which is listed, even OpenAI and all. There are many government and private organizations. I select them. They write clear rules and regulations. What is your scope? So what are the rules you have to follow? What are the attacks you should not do? What attacks you can?
Okay.
So like they'll give set of rules and regulations. We have to read it properly, perform the attack. They have report option there itself.
Okay.
Submit report and they'll respond accordingly. That is for public platforms. Again, there are private programs, government websites you can do, and you can report it to NCI IPC. So like that there are. So it's not difficult to find. There are millions of projects available.
Correct. Now, so what are the legalities of doing this? Because obviously hacking is a term, I'm sure everybody has been through news. There was a so Julian Assange was there who got arrested because he did some hacking. So we don't want our audience to do that, right? So how can someone ethically do hacking, and how do, let's say, for example, we spoke about maybe learning the 10 vulnerabilities which are there, right? Can I actually go on any website and perform a vulnerability attack for those top 10 vulnerabilities? Is that okay in India? And how does it work outside?
See, it is some gray area, okay, at times. But see, if a company, they themselves put their application in a platform and say that we are offering this for these kind of vulnerabilities,
Right.
they'll tell you priority, that is depending on
So
criticality.
those are
there
for the
will be
companies who offer a bug bounty
offer
program.
a program.
And maybe they mention it on the website.
Yeah.
But there are companies who don't mention it, maybe, right?
Yeah.
So can we do an attack on those websites?
That is kind of a gray area. The thing is, there is a platform, let's say Open Bug Bounty. So usually there are people who do it on companies who don't have RVDP program. It's because they don't even know what RVDP program is.
Right.
What is cybersecurity? They might not even have an idea.
Right.
Colleges, if you see, they don't have any idea about it. So there are many startups who don't have idea. So the thing is, at times, let's say I'm traveling somewhere, I saw a company name. So out of curiosity, I want to test it. So in that case, let's say, some attacks like cross-site scripting, SQL injection kind of attacks, let's say I'll perform it on the website. Again, there are attacks like DOS, DDoS and all, which will completely take down. I should not perform even on companies who are having RVDP program or companies who are not.
Okay.
Should not perform certain attacks, which is going to damage their clients, services to their clients. So I'll make sure that I perform, let's say, these kind of attacks, and I'll reach out. There are many ways to reach out. I can either call them at times and tell them, please divert the call to your technical team. If they tell that, we don't have such option, in that case, via LinkedIn, there will be multiple people, multiple employees who are registered. I'll just search for that company. I'll get some employee, message them that I found this vulnerability. Acknowledge, if you want more information, I'll help you to fix it. Obviously, if they're interested, they'll reach out to me and I'll tell the procedure.
Okay.
Like that, some or other way we can reach out to them. If they didn't even care about it, there is a platform called Open Bug Bounty Program. That is a platform where there is a team who will reach out on your behalf and help you to get acknowledgement from them. So as such, there are.
So, let's say I have a company, right? I am not aware about cybersecurity norms. Now I'm doing my work, and somebody, some ethical hacker comes and tells me that there's a vulnerability on your website. Now, as an owner, I might think that, hey, why did you attack my website in the first case, right? So, what is the legality in India for these kind of scenarios?
So as I told, so the thing is, our approach should be right.
Okay.
You know, as I told, that's kind of a gray area. If I tell you that, you know, hey, I got your customer data.
Right.
Obviously, people will be like, Ari, who are you to take my customer
Correct.
data?
Correct.
Who gave you permissions? Better asking permissions priorly, but as they don't know what cybersecurity is, they might not even care about it.
Right.
So we make sure that the attacks which we do, like if you see Open Bug Bounty, which I have told you before, the platform, they don't even accept attacks like SQL injection,
Okay.
where because it's an attack where it can dump the data from the database.
Right.
So we don't want to perform any attacks which is going to extract their sensitive data, but we'll perform attacks like, let's say, cross-site scripting and all, show them that, you know, you are allowing outsider to execute their code in your website, and we are not stealing any sensitive data or so. Then we'll report. The approach, how do you approach, should be different.
So I think now let's talk about cybersecurity careers, right? So I understood you explained us very well how we can get into cybersecurity. Now, once I get into cybersecurity, what is the kind of salary that I can expect as a fresher?
Okay, so when it comes to cybersecurity professional salaries, as a fresher, you can't expect as a fresher high salaries, but any other IT employee, whatever their average salaries, even cybersecurity, the same.
Okay.
So you can start off with somewhere around 3.54 or 4.5. So if you are directly from college and if you have a good college, then there are colleges which gets 12 LPA or 13 LPA also, depends on the college reputation. But as a fresher, like any other IT employee, you'll be getting the average same package. But eventually salaries grow faster in cybersecurity compared to any other domain.
Okay.
And in fact, if you see in entire IT department, there are many people involved, but none of the IT employee can directly reach out to a founder or CISO, right? Founder or stakeholders or CEO of a company. So they are in top level. So in MNCs I'm talking about. So in entire IT department, cybersecurity professional, like if you see CISO is head of cybersecurity department. So they can directly report to a founder. They will directly report. So that level of importance is given, and obviously responsibilities are high. Salaries are also very high compared to a developer as well.
Got it. So somebody who's a lateral guy who wants to get into cybersecurity, let's say somebody who's a software developer or somebody who's a network engineer who has spent 4-5 years in the industry, right? Maybe there are 10 to 12 LPA right now. So if they make a switch to cybersecurity, can they expect the same amount of salary or maybe a hike, or like how does it work?
So see, when it comes to there are few questions from students as well that people want to shift to cybersecurity. They have some experience. So here the scenario is, let's say cybersecurity networking is anyways needed. By now we know. So if you worked in some networking domain or some domain which is relevant to cybersecurity, let's say you worked around 2 years in networking, so they'll consider at least 50% of experience, like 1 year they'll consider. So that way you can shift into cybersecurity, but not a whole experience would be considered, but at least 50% will be taken.
So somebody who's a lateral hire, can they expect around 10 to 12 LPA as a starting? Like, let's say I'm a network engineer. Maybe I've done CCNA, right? I get into cybersecurity. Maybe I was earning around 10 to 12 LPA or 14 LPA. So with this experience, and maybe I've done a cybersecurity course, maybe I did the C8 certification or any other certification. Can I expect the same salary, or will there be a dip in my salary which I...
Possibilities are there.
Okay.
One scenario is there are few people who in the similar case in their same company they get the opportunity to shift by doing this certifications and all.
Yeah.
So in that case the same salaries maximum cases will continue. But from that company, if they are moving out to other company, so you have to prove a little bit your skill set, and the chances will be there. But it depends on the skill set. If you can prove that you have you are eligible to get that kind of package with the knowledge you are having, then definitely that people do give.
So you're saying maybe you might have to go to because we also have people who may come from a non-tech domain. Let's say somebody's in pre-sales, right? Or somebody is doing an entirely non-technical job and they're not happy with the job. And maybe the package that they're getting is around 20, 25. So they will have to take a dip is what you're saying when they're starting off in cybersecurity.
Yes.
But eventually you're saying if they do their certifications, if they're able to prove themselves in the company, the growth is there.
Yeah.
So what is the maximum salary that somebody can expect in the cybersecurity domain?
If you can see here, let's say compared to a developer, developer maximum salary, no matter how many year experience he's having, let's say an average company can pay up to 60 LPA.
Right.
But a cybersecurity professional, if you see head of cybersecurity department, there are companies who pay 60 lakhs to 3 CR.
Oh, in India?
In India.
Okay. So is this all cash or is there also, equity is also involved? Because
yeah, definitely.
Okay. So how much in-hand cash they can expect? Like
there are people, they are getting cash, and also it's up to them, depends on the company if they give stakes or not, but they do also.
So you're saying people are earning 3 CR a year also?
Yes, in India there are people who are
in a job.
Yeah, in job.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting, and I think even people then I think that's why it's a lucrative career as well, but it comes with its onus of learning a lot. Like you're saying, you run a company which is in cybersecurity, we're still learning today, right? Okay. Now, let's say somebody gets into cybersecurity, they feel they're stuck somewhere, right? Now, if they have to grow, how do they grow? Like if I am in cybersecurity, maybe I've spent 2 years in the company, right? I am having the same skill set. I'm tired of shifting between companies. I'm not able to get a hike, or I'm not able to grow my skills. So what is the way out from there?
See, one thing is cybersecurity is something which you cannot be with the same knowledge. Okay, every day you have to upgrade.
Okay.
So once you dive in, you have to keep upgrading. It's not like other field. So I'll tell you, there is one advantage with this because of this reason. The advantage is, as you have to upgrade yourself every day, so it's difficult for people to replace with you with a tool, on your behalf. Right. So if you learn any technology today, and if you don't have to upgrade yourself for next 5 years, then you can be replaced with a tool. But cybersecurity is not. So the thing is, as we have to learn every day, and if we stop upgrading, our downfall starts.
Right.
So we learn, but how do we prove in organization that we got knowledge? By doing certifications and all we can. And people do demand that, I have done this advanced level certification. So there are possibilities to get hiked.
Got it. So one certification that we talked about extensively was CEH, which is maybe targeted as to people who want to get into cybersecurity. What other certifications are there which can be helpful to people who want to advance in their career of cybersecurity?
So again, let's say for example, I'm into offensive side. So initially, let's say I can start off with getting into as a fresher, I can start off with CH, but later I can get into in advanced level penetration testings. I can get into CPENT, OSCP, EJPT, PNPT, like that. There are that cadre certifications. So I can go for it. So basically, if you see OSCP, it is a 48-hour exam.
Oh, okay.
As in 24 hours, first 24 hours, they'll give us, we have to crack 5 machines they'll give us, we have to crack it, and next 24 hours, we have to document it. So the thing is, there are such kind of certifications. So there are, that level of exams where we can prove ourselves. Obviously, if I crack, let's say if I have OSCP certification, then companies will see that, okay, this person is having knowledge, and they can definitely, upon that only, they'll also give us salaries.
Right. Also, what about other people? So we spoke about extensively the cybersecurity career. But let's say I'm a developer, or maybe I'm a network engineer, or maybe I'm sitting in some other IT job. How important is it for me to learn cybersecurity? Is it important, first of all, or are there teams who take care of cybersecurity and you just have to focus on your work? How does it work?
So I'll just give a clarity on it. So cybersecurity definitely is not only for you to do a job,
Hmm.
it's for everyone to learn. Because see, for example, let's say you got fever or you got cold,
Hmm.
you know which tablet to take. You don't have to be a doctor,
Hmm.
right? You can think that a doctor will anyways know. I can just go near doctor and take care of it. Nothing as such. So we'll know basic things, right? In same way, being a non-cybersecurity professional, it's responsible for every human who is using device to be familiar with cyber crimes, cyber threats, cyber security. Because nowadays, let's say for example, recently we had an Aadhaar card data breach. Okay, so being a cybersecurity professional, let's say I keep following this stuff, and I got to know Aadhaar card data breach. And as we also work with certain crime departments, we do get see a lot of cases. So 81 crore data got breached few months back, and since then Aadhaar enabled payments are happening. As in, without OTP, as your Aadhaar is having a link with your bank, directly money can get debited from your account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So as I know this, so what I do is for security purpose, I go to my UIDI portal, government portal, and I log in and I disable my biometric authentication. So by default, it's enabled. So we have to disable it so that people will not be able to do it. So I don't have to be a cybersecurity professional to know this concept, because everyone has bank. So they need to know how to protect themselves.
Right.
Devices they have. People install some cracked softwares, modded applications. They need to know what would happen. So there are certain cyber awareness situation which everyone need to have it.
Yeah.
So irrespective of which domain they are in.
So is there a certification for this also?
Nothing as such certifications, but you have to keep following. There are certain websites which are available where it's a free subscriptions, like a news articles. So there are Hackers News, GB Hackers, or Naked Security. There are many such kind of websites where if you subscribe, they'll send you an email, they'll send you a newsletter, or you can check out in that website. Every day they'll update what are the cyber crimes which are happening.
Right.
So in a detailed manner also how it is happening.
So we spoke about general awareness, but what about professional requirements? Like for example, there is something called a secure coding, right? So developers, they should write code in a way that it is secure.
Yeah.
So does this fall under cybersecurity, or this has to be learned by the developer? Like how does it work?
So if developer learns, it's good. See, cybersecurity is involved everywhere.
Right.
So see, the another advantage is, let's say I learn cybersecurity today. Tomorrow I want to get into AI. So cybersecurity will be helpful in AI.
Right.
DevOps or developers, everyone needs it. But not many people are aware of it.
Yes.
So usually what happens is our companies that we provide security solutions. So in their companies, whoever are developing the softwares, before giving it to client, nowadays clients are needing auditing report. Okay, so there are auditing organizations, certain empaneled. Okay, cert in India. So basically there are few companies who are certain empaneled companies, auditing organizations. So basically what we do is we check that software and we see whatever flaws are there, and even secure coding, we do code reviews. There are automated tools as well using which we can check all the lines, and if there is any flaws we report and they fix it and we give the report. Then after we giving the auditing report only, clients will accept their product.
Got it. Okay. So you're saying even if a developer writes the code, there are ways to test whether that code is following
Yes.
best practices or not. But it's a good thing to have, because I have seen a lot of job descriptions for developers also, where they mention that you should know secure coding, or you should know, tools which check whether your code is following the secure coding practices or not. All right. Okay, that's interesting to know. One more important thing that I wanted to ask was when you were speaking about developers, that these days, because of ChatGPT and other AI tools, there has been a lot of buzz that ChatGPT will take jobs. I mean, we are able to see now that a lot of jobs like technical content writing and other things, they all have been automated, right? Similarly, maybe it is not taking developers' job, but it is helping them in productivity, wherein whatever boilerplate code that somebody had to write again and again, that ChatGPT gives them now, and they can use it, and then they can edit, and then they can go on. So this is what the impact which has happened in the developer space or the content space. What is the impact which has happened in the cybersecurity space because of this?
So, after AI hitting the market, cybersecurity jobs have increased more.
Oh, okay.
Okay, where other domains got impacted, cybersecurity jobs has increased. And the reason why is hackers have adapted AI before normal people did.
Okay.
Okay, they have adapted AI faster. So, in a simple note, like even if you see ChatGPT create an interview, an interviewer will ask, "Aren't you afraid of what you have created?" So he told that, if I say I'm not afraid, I'm wrong. But my major concern is cyber criminals misusing it. Okay. So how do they misuse? Basically, let's say, for example, I want to perform an attack on a website or some organization. So if I want to perform attack, organization, if they're already having a security team or so, so what they do is already existing attacks, they protect themselves.
Right.
But if I want to create my own attack, so I need to have my own tool. I have to create. In order to create my own tool, I need coding knowledge.
Right.
But now people are asking AI to create a tool for them. So what is happening is it made easy for hackers to develop tools to, you tell ChatGPT to create a script for you or exploit for you, and it will write it down and exploit and give it to you. So it became easy for hackers nowadays to, one thing is to attack on companies because of AI. And apart from that, non-technical attacks, as in, I can video call someone with your face, deepfakes, right? I can audio call someone with the same voice if you want. I can train an AI with same voice. So it's with your number I can call your, anyone I can call, phone spoofings. So it became easy for me to convince people that I am you and scam them. Right. So AI has made it very easy for people nowadays. And moving forward, AI needs security, and even ChatGPT has announced bug bounty program a few months back. So yeah, it's a good thing, you could say, for cybersecurity professional. But I would summarize that any technology which makes your life easy brings threats. That's a simple story in cybersecurity.
Right. Okay. So you're saying AI has now increased the jobs of cybersecurity engineers, or maybe made their life more tough because they have to deal with more attacks. Okay. So this basically boils down to the fact that companies now need to be more aware about cybersecurity and the different kind of attacks which can happen. Like, for example, what attacks do you see on a daily basis which companies face? Like, for example, DDoS attacks are there. I mean, there are a lot of kind of attacks, but what are the different kind of attacks which you see on a daily basis, which happen to companies?
Common DDoS is common. Very common attack is DDoS. And as I told, the worst part is if it is a high volume DDoS attack, there is no complete solution yet. Right. Okay, for some medium scale also we can.
So for our viewers, can you tell them what is a DDoS attack exactly?
DDoS is a distributed denial of service. Okay, DOS is denial of service, DDoS is distributed. So basically what happens is there is a big cybercrime syndicate for it. So where, hacker will set up a command and control center, and he'll hire affiliates. Affiliates are there. What they'll do is their job is to either, legitimate website, they'll compromise them, or they themselves will create malicious website to attract people visiting it.
Okay.
Like adult website, torrent websites, all these people do visit daily. So you see at times you click anywhere on the screen, you get redirected to another page.
Right.
So there are some JavaScript download functions as well. If that script loads, there is possibility that your device gets compromised. So once your device gets compromised, you'll become a bot.
Okay.
Okay, malware will get loaded and you will become a bot. So you'll be connected to CNC server of hacker. So like you, there are millions of people across globe who visit these websites. So all these millions of devices are compromised. They become zombies or botnets, we call them. So whenever hacker gets this job, like, probably some company might hire them, a group of hackers, and tell them that I want this website to be down from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. So the hacker will send a command. All these devices, millions of devices, will start sending, requests to that website. So even you or me, without knowing, our device might also keep sending requests. So it's difficult for the organization to identify which one is legitimate traffic.
Okay.
So even if one request goes from each device, there are millions of devices, millions of requests hit at a time. So it's not possible for a company to handle that high level DDoS attacks. So there are certain security measurements, header analysis, wavelet analysis, and load balancers implementations. There are certain security measurements, but up to some extent only we can.
So we can only prevent them, we cannot avoid them, is what you're saying.
No.
So let's say, how do I get to know whether my device is in a bot network or not? Is there a way to figure out whether I have been infected with a JavaScript code, like you say?
There are certain tools, but it's not guaranteed that it works.
Okay.
But there are tools, and even government also is offering certain tools where you can identify botnets and all, but that's a possibility.
No, so what I want to understand is, like, if I am a part of a botnet or not, how will I get to know about it?
See, it's not that right now, if you want to check, as I told, there are certain tools which are available which will try to scan and identify, but it's not 100% working process. But either way, if you keep monitoring your device network traffic, and if your device is shooting out some requests without you initiating it, so if you monitor, then that is one possibility to figure it out.
Okay. Because what I want to touch base on is, because there are a lot of cyber crimes which are happening every day. Even some of our friends, they've gone through a fraud wherein they are not getting an OTP, and then their money is getting debited from their account. Now, I'm not too sure how that works, but what is the way to avoid these kind of things? Like, is there something which our audience can do so that they're not, of course, technical awareness is one, but apart from that, can they do something about it right now so that they can, or maybe some practice that they can follow every day, through which they're not getting scammed like this?
So see, let's say stealing money from banks for a hacker, there are many ways.
Right.
So being let's say normal guy, not having some cybersecurity expertise, I should be aware of all the cyber crimes which are happening in the market, and every day it keeps on increasing. Let's say, for example, Aadhaar card is there. So few months back, we had in 2018 March, we had an Aadhaar card data breach of 1.1 billion accounts.
Oh,
that was the world's largest biometric data breach which happened, and that could be bought online. Even in WhatsApp group, they were selling it for few pounds, right? So recently we had an Aadhaar card data breach this year, few months back, and since February onwards, we were getting lot of crimes that money is getting debited from account without OTP. That's because Aadhaar card is linked with your bank.
okay.
So as Aadhaar card is linked with your bank, so we have a facility, Aadhaar enabled payments. So if victim goes and complained in department, and if in banking also, if they check the transaction, they'll be able to find Aadhaar enabled payments was initiated. So they're taking around approximately 5,000 or so, not very big amount. So around 5,000 they're taking. So without OTP, money can be debited through Aadhaar enabled payment. How do I secure myself? You can go to that government portal, UIDAI portal, and you can log in into your account, and you can disable biometric authentication. So whenever it is needed, if you want, you can again log in and enable it. Whenever it is not, maximum cases, switch it off. And apart from that, if you see your credit card, debit card scenarios, okay, that is one way. This credit card, debit card, you have, let's say, a magnetic strip to your credit card, debit card, which emits certain frequencies. We have devices like Flipper and other devices where, even though your card is inside your pocket, so if I go beside you, I can get your card details. Okay. And if you have this NFC enabled, near field communication, tap and pay, so I can just emulate your card using that device of mine, go to any ETC machine and tap and make payment from your card. Okay. Other way is, let's say I got your card details, you don't have tap and pay enabled. So I got your card details. What I can do is, people think that if he has my card details, what is there in it? OTP will come to my mobile if they do transaction. Nothing as such. Basically, there are two types of payment gateway, 2D and 3D.
Okay.
2D payment gateway means no OTP. 3D payment gateways, OTP we will get it. Fortunately, India is using most secure payment gateways, 3D payment gateway. So if I get your card details, I'll not do shopping in India. I'll do shopping in, let's say, US has 2D payment gateways, no OTP. So I'll take your card details and do shopping in Amazon.com.
Okay.
.com is US, .in is India.
Right.
So I'll do shopping in Amazon.com if international transactions will be enabled up to an extent for your cards. So I'll do shopping in Amazon.com without OTP, money will get debited from your account.
Oh my God.
So we call this carding. There are many hackers on daily basis. They'll buy your card details from dark web and they do it on daily basis. Around $50 to $100 is what they take up. So that is another story. And if you want, you have to disable your international transactions in your card. All these you can do if you have that awareness, on these crimes.
So I understood the monetary part of it. So people do scams to earn money. But let's say we spoke about DDoS, where you told us that some company's website will go down if somebody enables a bot network. So what is the motivation behind that? Like why does that happen?
So hackers' motivation, it can be for money.
Okay.
Or it can be for some joy, thrill. Okay. So there are hackers who, even though they don't get even a penny out of it, they want to do it just for hack value. As in, I could say that, I took down Facebook, my reputation will increase, right? So, but either way, when it comes to this DDoS attacks, mostly there are many groups in dark web who provide these services.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say, for example, I'm competitor of IntelliPath. If IntelliPath goes down, I'm the only option for people. Okay. So what I can do is I can hire some hacking group and say that I want this website to be down. So accordingly, they'll perform a DDoS attack, get it down, and the customers of IntelliPath, when they're opening website, it will be very slow, or when they're making payment, they couldn't. So they'll get frustrated, and obviously you will be losing your loyal customers. Ultimately, they get diverted to me. So I'll be in profit.
So hackers are offering these services and then...
Yeah, there is a big syndicate for it. Yeah.
Alright, Karthik, so I think let's summarize now. But before we summarize, I have a very important question for you.
Yeah.
So let's say I get scammed, right? So what is it that I should do now? Like, is there a way that maybe I got scammed, my data got leaked, or I had my money go out from a bank? So is there a way where I can get it back, or what can I do? What is the next course of action?
See, if you're a customer of, if you're a subscriber of some company and that company couldn't maintain, many companies goes through data breaches. And no company is 100% secure. That is clear about it, because every day we keep on getting new attacks. It's not possible for a security team also until and unless they get attacked with a new one. As in, let's say COVID is there. In 2018, we can't predict that 2019 may COVID will hit the market.
Right.
So in real world, probably once in a decade, we are getting new virus. Cyber world, we are getting it every day, every week, every month. It's not possible for companies to be 100% secure. So you have to be careful enough to give as limited information as possible. Okay, again, it will take a lot of time to discuss all of it,
Hmm.
but you have as less amount of information you give in public, the more secure you'll be. That is one thing. But another thing is every security professional will recommend you that every 15 days, if you are too lazy, at least every 3 months, you have to change your credentials.
The passwords.
Yeah, passwords. You have to keep changing it.
Hmm.
And multi-factor authentication should be switched on. Two-factor, that is OTP, should come to your device.
Huh.
That is okay for data side. But when it comes to financial frauds, if you go through a financial fraud, first of all, you have to avoid them. But let's say you go through a financial fraud, as soon as possible, you have to report it in cybercrime department
Sure.
and in bank. So if you report it soon, they'll freeze your amount which the other side has gotten, and they'll try to recover it back.
Hmm.
Within 24 hours or so. You have to take action, and you have some toll-free numbers from government where you can directly call department and tell them that I got through this day financial fraud and all. They'll try to help you out. But if you delay it, so forget about your money, because even if you report it, not even cybercrimes, not only financial fraud, all the other cybercrimes, matrimonial fraud, Instagram frauds, Facebook frauds, all the other frauds which are happening in market. So reported frauds, not even single digit, as in not even 9% of cybercrimes are solved,
Oh my
which
God.
are reported. Unreported, there are many. Reported itself, not even it's below 10% which are solved.
That's scary. Okay. So, I think what you're trying to say is that we have to be, even if we are not trying to be a cybersecurity professional or make a cybersecurity career, it is very important in this day and age to know about cybersecurity.
Everyone would suggest prevention is better than cure.
Right.
You should make sure that you don't get scammed rather than thinking about what to do after getting scammed.
So on that note, guys, thank you so much, Karthik. It was lovely talking to you, and maybe I'm definitely sure people will have a lot of questions and they can post it in the comments, and maybe we can do a round 2 also with you if you have time,
Definitely.
and we can discuss more in detail about how somebody after learning cybersecurity can benefit themselves.
Sure.
Thank you so much for your time.
Sure. Thank you.